Alex thought he'd cheated death when he got off Flight 180, but death doesn't lose. It just changes the rules. One by one, his friends started dying in the exact order they would have died on the plane, and Alex realized he was next in line. That's when he discovered something that would save his life. But 3 weeks after escaping that doomed flight, Alex's relief turned to ice-cold terror. Todd had just died in his bathroom, slipped on water, strangled by a clothesline in the most impossible freak accident Alex had ever seen. And as he stared at Todd's lifeless body, something clicked in his brain that changed everything. The order. Todd was supposed to sit in seat 15F. Alex had been in 14F. Carter was behind them in row 16. The plane would have killed them in exact sequence. And now death was working down that same list one by one in perfect order. Most people would have called it coincidence. But Alex's mind worked differently. He noticed patterns others missed, saw connections in chaos. Standing in that bathroom, he wasn't just grieving his friend, he was calculating. If Todd was 15F and Alex was 14F, then Alex was next. Death had a design, and Alex was about to become its next victim. The realization hit him like a freight train. This wasn't random. Death had rules, a system, a methodology as precise as clockwork. While everyone else saw tragic accidents, Alex saw the blueprint. And that blueprint had his name written as the next victim. Instead of panicking, instead of running, Alex did something different. He started thinking like death itself. Alex began studying the accidents, not just experiencing them, but analyzing them. He noticed how death used the environment. Everyday objects turned into weapons, simple physics twisted into elaborate death machines. A ceiling fan becomes a guillotine. Spilled water becomes a conductor. Ordinary life becomes an execution chamber. The pattern wasn't just about order, it was about irony, about using your own choices against you. Death didn't just kill, it made you complicit in your own destruction. Todd's love of long showers created the water. His habit of hanging clothes created the noose. Death was a master manipulator, turning comfort into catastrophe. And that's when Alex discovered the key that would break Death's design. If Death used your patterns against you, then breaking those patterns might break Death's plan. If Death relied on your predictable choices, then unpredictable choices might be your salvation. The psychological shift was everything. Alex stopped being a victim and started being a strategist. He stopped reacting to Death's moves and started anticipating them. While Death was playing chess, expecting Alex to make the obvious moves, Alex was about to flip the entire board. Because Alex realized something crucial. The design wasn't unbreakable, it was just a pattern. And every pattern, no matter how complex, no matter how deadly, had a weakness. Human intelligence, when pushed to its absolute limit, could beat even the most inevitable force in the universe. Would you have figured out Death's pattern like Alex did? Or would you have dismissed Todd's accident as just bad luck? Comment your thoughts below. Drop your answer in the comments below. But recognizing the pattern was only half the battle. Now Alex had to actually beat Death at its own game. That moment in the parking lot changed everything. The live wire hung exposed, sparking in the rain. Alex saw it immediately, up in the setup, the trap, the way Death had orchestrated every detail to kill Clear in an elaborate chain reaction. Gas leak, ignition source, escape route blocked. But Alex didn't run. Instead, he grabbed the wire. The electricity should have killed him. Every law of physics, every rule of Death's game said Alex should have died in that parking lot. But he didn't. Because in that split second of searing current, Alex discovered the ultimate truth about Death's design. It wasn't unbreakable, it was just a pattern, and patterns could be broken. While Death was busy orchestrating its elaborate sequence, Alex was thinking 3 moves ahead. He realized something Death hadn't anticipated. The design required order, but it also required logic. Death's system was so rigid, so dependent on its own rules, that it couldn't adapt when Alex willingly stepped into the trap instead of running from it. The psychological shift was everything. Alex stopped being hunted and started being strategic. He turned himself into a willing participant in Death's game, but on his own terms. Death feeds on fear, on unwilling victims caught in traps they don't see coming. But Alex walked into that trap with his eyes wide open, making a conscious choice that Death's design simply couldn't process. In that moment, grabbing the wire, Alex had done something impossible. He'd taken Death's perfect, methodical system and introduced chaos into it. Human choice, unpredictability. The very things that made him human were the exact weapons needed to beat a force that operated on pure, inhuman logic. Alex didn't just survive the electrocution, he rewrote the rules. He proved that even the most inevitable force in the universe had a weakness. It underestimated the power of human intelligence when everything was on the line. Death's design was perfect, but Alex was unpredictable. And in that final moment, unpredictable won. Subscribe for more psychological breakdowns and watch this next. Another impossible escape.